Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I have been talking for years now about one of my favorite buffs ever, and it has been a couple years now since it happened, as hard as it is to believe. When you pair Colossus, especially with Omega Red, and also, it doesn't hurt to add to the Apocalypse, Cable, Synergy, but even alone, Colossus is just so good. He's one of those champions that I took to Sig 200 and just feel like I haven't looked back. He is still in my main questing starting five, which I know is a reference that if you don't watch sports, if you don't, like I played basketball growing up for years. I always talked about starting five lineups. If you don't play basketball, you may not know that reference. But basically, one of the five that I put into normal event quests when I'm just trying to fill it out. Hercules, Captain America, Infinity War, Colossus, Omega Red, and Nick Fury. Those are my starting five. But as great of a buff as Colossus got, Mr. Mighty Colossus, that was not carried over to the 1-star version of him. However, what made this especially strange is that other 1-stars did carry over their buffs. Like another one of my favorite buffs of the past couple years. Let's talk about that 6-star. Get the mutants out of here for the sake of this video. 6-star Jugs. And what Jugs lacks in terms of, PI, Jugs makes up for in really great utility. And the can't stop, won't stop node, which haunted my experimental run to try to get a Legends tile, just to see how far I go. Easily made it to room 13, threat level 6, no items used, no units used, obviously. And then I didn't look ahead, didn't have an unstoppable champion, and I was screwed unless I wanted to do, Lord, I think I was taking 4 to 6% off that Domino boss per Hercules run. So you're looking at 20 revives just to get that woman down? No, that would be very irresponsible and terrible. So I exited out. But Jugs did get a 1-star buffed treatment. And I was always wondering, can Kabam just move Hercules? Or excuse me, not Hercules. I've got Hercules on my mind after all weekend using him. Can't they just move Jugs and Colossus to the same place? Can they buff Colossus as a 1-star now that Jugs has made the move? Well, I didn't cover this weekend on my channel, and that led some of you to say, Prof, you need to make sure you talk about this since you've been talking about 1-star Colossus for years. So we're going to blacken the screen real quick and bring up one of my subscribers, Mr. X8 Punishment 8X, because when you look at the patch notes for the month of April, I believe, it says the usual fixed an issue with Imifrost stun immunity. But then let's get here. Reverted some 1-star champions to pre-work kits. Black Panther, Gamora, Hawkeye, Juggernaut. And the justification was due to difficulty in Act 1. Now look, maybe that's true. Maybe these champions with the nodes in Act 1, I haven't done Act 1 in 8 years, are making it really difficult. But could it also be the case where it's just easier to revert them to the pre-rework kits than it is to keep them there and then just make sure all the champions, Colossus, that have been buffed, get that reflected in their 1-star equivalents, especially when you're talking about a champion that, say, for the sake of argument, might be a much needed champion in a certain variant content that only lets you do 1-stars. Anybody know what I'm talking about watching this? Maybe there's some heads nodding, maybe not. I've been told sometimes people only watch my videos when they're driving or when they're in the bathroom. So maybe you're not nodding in those places. Maybe you are. Either way, thanks for listening or watching or both. 1-star Colossus deserved better. 1-star Colossus deserved to be buffed with the rest. But in the end, I guess this could help Act 1. I just find it confusing. It reminds me of when Kabam tried to say years ago that Mordo was not naturally countered by a certain champion that, well, turned out it was 100% of RNG, but they had said that it was all frame rate dependent, and it didn't make any sense to me, but that was the official justification. And that champion, of course, was Drax. Now we have a case where you're saying Act 1's too difficult with the post-buffed 1-stars, and yet I kind of want to call BS on this one. Do you think Kabam has a point? Or is this a nice way to just make sure that nobody has an argument that any 1-star should be the buffed version? That's what I'm thinking about this, but maybe I'm being too critical and negative and everything else I get told I am. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.